Hello, everyone, and welcome back to LBT Halo's continuous coverage of HCS London. We got a big one here, Eli. This feels way too early in the day, way too early in the tournament for having such a consequential series as we have Sentinels taking on OpTic.
This is an insane match in pools. I could absolutely see this being a match for top 4, top 3, maybe even a grand finals type appearance. Maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I do see a lot in this Sentinels roster. I think OpTic has been hitting a stride recently where they're feeling as powerful as they were in that season 1 towards the end of it. But right now, Sentinels also feeling as powerful as ever with precision on the roster. And I feel like Lethal playing with a bit more energy as well. So this could be an intense series that goes the distance.
Sentinels win the opening break and have early pressure in the OpTic base, but Lethal trades out, and that could be big for OpTic. That's a trade win condition for OpTic in that it hopefully pushes the Sentinels roster back, but no. OpTic go 2 down, and you see Formal here. He steps back into his base to play from a more defensive standpoint. As he now pushes in, looks towards the generator. Dead Zone pushing out. That should mean that the rest of OpTic are going to push out into the generator, but Dead Zone goes down by himself. The assist comes through, but numbers are going to dwindle. A little bit of a missed timing from the OpTic gaming crew here to start, and Sentinels should have the first pull, but OpTic do a great job to continuously trade out. If not for these crucial trades in their defensive base, Sentinels would already have a pull, if not a 1-0 lead.
Lucid absolutely clutching up. Last player alive gets 2 and then a third as well to clear his side when Sentinels had firm control of that utility side, which is so important to run a flag on this map. For Lucid to shut that down as last player alive is absolutely massive, but the pressure has been heavy on OpTic's side of the map really since the game started. This looks like maybe the first opportunity that OpTic has to get out of their base. But as I say that, Falcated still in their utility, just pulling more attention backwards. Somehow wins that fight against Trippy as well. And that means that Sentinels once again will claim ownership of OpTic's utility side. But it's OpTic on the other side. We've got members of both teams on both sides of the map.
Yeah, you can see Dead Zone there wanted to push out and then looked back over his left shoulder like, wait, Falcated's still there? As Falcated, a thorn in the side of OpTic Gaming. Flag out for now. As Lucid with the overshield gonna have to play more defense. That flag is out for Sentinels. So Sentinels, it seems pretty even in trades and in slays, but it feels like Sentinels have the early edge. Lucid and OpTic thankful that they were able to grab this overshield and stop this run for now.
Right now, slays heavily on the side of Sentinels. Looks like they have just been winning a majority of the fights right now, which is not easy to do against OpTic. Lucid going to try to find a crafty kill bottom middle. 3 do go dead for Sentinels, but this could be OpTic's chance to finally get into the base, get a flag out, but if not for Falcated playing defender here bottom center.
Boo-boo. Looking to stay alive. Now it's pressure from OpTic Gaming in the Sentinels base as Trippy and the rest of the boys have pushed through. Flag already out in the courtyard as Trippy looks to continue the run, but he goes down. Unfortunate timing there. Lethal's the only player alive for Sentinels, and he's able to make a miraculous stop. That could have been huge if Trippy's able to continue to stay alive, continue to run that through the P side. A rare P run there for Sentinels. Ends up getting reset as we have an even 2v2 feed. Looks like things are going to reset in totality here, as it's been very difficult for both of these two teams to get any offense going off the start.
Interestingly, I'm noticing both teams playing a lot of low ground positions. You know, this map traditionally known to be super important to hold high ground, but both teams just trying to find sneaky routes through bottom center, and it's going to pay off for OpTic here as Trippy's going to get this flag out and into the util. Spawners of Sentinels just came up, so they're ultimately trying to take a lot of space, maybe try to get into the OpTic base before this flag gets too far, but as more kills go in the kill feed in favor of OpTic, this flag looks like it should go home.
That's big. Dead Zone, the bodyguard, ended up going down. That allowed Sentinels a chance to pull, and they do. That all comes down to Dead Zone going down previously when Trippy needed a bodyguard. Dead Zone went down, but it looks like they're still going to be able to reset this flag. 3 go down for Sentinels, and I like that play there. Reset it a little bit to the positioning on the reset, then let it finish via time as 3 went down for Sentinels. OpTic Gaming go up 1-0 in this match. What a very resilient start here for OpTic Gaming.
Dead Zone with perfect efficiency there, like you said, just waiting the timer as long as he needed to and just had the understanding of how much time was left for it to return automatically. Perfectly timed on the flag stump, and now Lucid's got another flag out. He's going to make a pit stop here to return his own flag and also get a killing spree. Gets enough damage on that second player for Trippy to take care of it. And now this flag should start going all the way back. This looks like the early 2-0 lead for OpTic.
Feels like every time we look up at the top left corner of our screen, there are at least 3 down for Sentinels as a tidal wave of numbers have started to roll here for OpTic Gaming, led by their OBJ mastermind, Dead Zone. We were talking about Legend comping for Dead Zone previously on that SSG roster, but now Dead Zone, top Slayer and top OBJer, as OpTic getting a little bit of that magical run, a dueling personality trait there. But now 3 go down for OpTic Gaming. Sentinels have the numbers advantage that they had off the start. Weren't able to do anything with it though, and imagine if it was 1-2, the game would feel a little bit different here. Sentinels still looking for their first score.
See that right there. Sentinels had a lot of players dead for OpTic, but maybe should have timed their push. OpTic's too smart. They're going to be throwing those defensive nades as you come in. They're going to know the timing that you're going to get into the base. Those nades made all the difference. Sentinels, if they just stutter stepped maybe for a second or 2, waited for the nades, they could have had a flag out by now. They still do continue to slay out though, 3 dead, which means Lethal should be able to get this flag out, but they're going to have to get more spawn kills to get this further on the map. On top of that, Overshield just came up. They do stop and get that, and that is going to be huge. This could be the catalyst for Sentinels to get their first cap on the board.
Oh, massive grenade though from Formal, and it doesn't take down Boo Boo, but it does take down his Overshield, and because of that he goes down shortly after. So Formal not getting the slay, and I think that example right there is like a microcosm for what this game has looked like for Matt. He's got 5 slays, only 5 slays, but 12 assists. Great example of that right there is Sentinels do in fact put their first one on the board as they're only down 1, 5.5 left.
So important to bring that cap within, or those points within 1. It means that should this timer start to dwindle down, sudden death could be on the table, but it is another 3 dead for OpTic. Boo Boo Doo Boo in the base, trying to get this flag out. Falcated's there with him. And Formal finally getting shut down. This could be another flag run opportunity, but they have to pay attention to where these spawners are coming from, and Lethal has the awareness to go ahead and attack these players at P1. We'll see if this flag can make it even further on the map.
Flag in the hands of Boo Boo Doo Boo. Runs out past a little bit of a fumble, and I think he heard footsteps coming through the bottom mid location. 2 players for OpTic Gaming push through. That's Trippy with 1. Dead Zone goes down, but not before putting shots down onto Falcated. Trippy going to try to finish up on the damage, and he does not. Has to reload instead. Falcated gets the slay, and what's going to occur out of that? A reset ultimately, but Sentinels will win the mid-map control after 3 go down for OpTic.
Yeah, Trippy did enough there to at least get the flag returned, but does go down. Like you said, that means mid-map control could swing in the favor of Sentinels, but what can they do with it? Like I said, these low ground positions, for some reason, being very popular so far this game. At this point, OpTic just meticulously getting out of their base. Trippy just peeking out the P door, make sure that he has some teammates to shoot with him. Now that he's taking control of the P side, they look to push into the base of Sentinels. Sentinels have been getting spawn killed for a little bit here, but OpTic have not had a chance to get all the way in the base.
Lucid pulls another flag out. OpTic still up by 1. Another Overshield up soon, and OpTic Gaming, they're about to roll. They're about to get Overshield. They're about to get another flag cap to make it a 3-1 game, but there's still 1 player left. It's Boo Boo Doo Boo alive in the OpTic side of the base, and if he could just stay alive a little longer, maybe pull a flag out. No, it's not going to be enough, as OpTic will in fact earn the Overshield, I imagine, and a 3-1 lead.
Story has continued for Formal. 15 assists now. Maybe not as many slays as we're used to seeing from him, but the damage output is unquestionable. Falcated's just constantly applying pressure into the OpTic's utility side of the map as he gets the perfect kill, utilizing the thruster on Formal. Gonna also be able to chuck this flag into the courtyard. The rest of Sentinels look to push up, get a couple slays so they can continue moving this flag.
If you'll recall, Eli, it was Formal in HCS Season 1, a top 5 support player, top 5 in assists nearly every single LAN tournament. And HCS Season 1 was the year OpTic won the Halo World Championship. 2v2 for now, after 3 actually go down for OpTic Gaming. Now hopping on board here with the Precision, some cross-map shots into the back of Dead Zone and Formal, as he gets the perfect shots on the player top mid. That's Lethal who goes down now. Precision just trying to push through, protecting the offensive side of the map. The flag is out for Sentinels, but I think it just got reset, so Precision's going to be in a situation, I believe, or he's gonna have to do a little bit more work and pull himself. He does. That's exactly what the case is as he continues on through the generator.
Sentinels also were aware of the spawners coming on that P side. This is probably the easiest map to predict spawns. If you're in their util, they're probably going to spawn fridge. Sentinels knows that with how much experience they have on the map, and they've done a great job to apply pressure to those spawners. But understanding there's 3 members of OpTic alive right now, they accurately decide that it is time to stop and slay. This flag will stay alive, but they've got to kill a couple more members of OpTic before they can punch this in.
Flag goes through, and Sentinels have done enough to keep it close, but OpTic have held on to the lead throughout this match. Holding on to another overshield is Formal, as he earns what I imagine will be the double. Yes, there it is, the reversal no less. As players weak on the P1 side of the map, Boo-Boo-Doo, the last player alive here for Sentinels, and OpTic with a minute and a half left. If they continue out with these slays, there's just too much pressure and not enough time and space for Sentinels to come back. What can they do? They need someone to pop off. They need someone to start dealing out more damage. Maybe it's Precision who gets that opening break slay, but Falcated goes down shortly after.
I'm on the side of Sentinels. I'm looking at Precision to die a little bit less. He has racked up more deaths than anybody else in the lobby so far. And I know it's just one more, but he's had the most deaths almost the entire game. You have to imagine with his firepower, he needs to stay alive on the map a bit longer to give Sentinels better chances to get out of their base. Right now, the pressure is too great. They're going to start getting spawn killed. OpTic is approaching here from the utility side. And right now, Sentinels have to figure a way out. Usually they'll send a group of 2 out the P side, start to take some space over there. But right now, OpTic are not going to make it easy.
50 seconds left, and Formal and a duo are in the generator together. That's Lucid pinging in on the yellow side of the map, Sentinel side, as Falcated earns another slay. 2 go down for OpTic, and you can really sense Falcated's aggressiveness here. He knows that he needs to stay alive in OpTic's side of the map, and with 2 down for OpTic, nobody down for Sentinels. Formal makes a hero play though, stops Falcated short before dipping into the 50-yard line, and that could secure the victory for OpTic. One final defensive stand, 3 go down, and Formal is in fact clutching up. Didn't have the slays to match, but now he's got the slays to match the assist, make it one better. 20, 19, and 21 for Formal, having himself a hell of a game.
Yeah, great closing sequence for Formal. You got to think that Falcade is a little upset about that spawn point. Formal did kind of spawn in the perfect position on util, and Falcade didn't expect it. He was starting to run the flag that direction, but perhaps another member of Sentinels was too close to the fridge spawn to block it, and that might be what caused that spawn out. But they've got to get that tightened up and make sure nobody's in the wrong spot if they're going to control spawns against a team like OpTic.
Welcome to game 2 as Sentinels, OpTic kicking things off early here. Formal with camo and snipe off the start. You imagine he could really pop off with it, but for now it's Trippy instead of the feed with the double. Matt sets his sights towards the rat tunnel for the no scope, and that's huge. 3 go down for OpTic Gaming, and they don't allow anything relatively out of that camo snipe combo.
Here we go. Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo just trying to get immediate intel on this sandbag side, get an angle maybe they don't expect. Also overlooking the sniper. Goes 3 dead for OpTic once again, and Boo-Boo with the sniper. If he can take out Trippy here, they should have a good position to maybe start spawn killing with this sniper rifle.
Just feels wrong to see Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo for Sentinels with that green OpTic sniper in his hands, but it signifies the fact that they took it out of the cold dead hands of Formal, and now Sentinels and Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo looking to heat up with it. No scope rings out across the middle of the map, doesn't connect, as he sets his sights instead towards the garage door, just like we saw with Trippy in the feed, getting the double kill off screen. It's Falcated now with a double of his own, and Sentinels have built a 1 team wipe lead early. 14-9 now. It's a multi-possession lead at that, so Sentinels could potentially spawn trap here, but there's going to be split, it looks like, instead, as OpTic in a little bit of a mini blender. Not quite the full blender off the start, but Sentinels look much better here in game 2.
You're exactly right. I mean, they've played their advantage very well. OpTic have been falling into their traps. This is kind of what I predicted, not to pat myself on the back here, but Sentinels really the type of team that can do this against any team. OpTic right now trying to fight through bottom center. Their plan here is to just get some space on the other side of camo before it comes up, but looks like Sentinels predicted that. They stop it short, and all this time that Falcated has wasted from Lucid means that Sentinels will get a free camo. 19-12.
This is approaching a 3-possession game where OpTic need 3 clean team wipes. to get back in this one, and it's still early, 19-12, but as we start to get into the 30s, you take a 3-possession lead into that. That's difficult for any team to come back from, as we see a full 2 team wipes, 8 kills plus now, as the lead's built into double digits. OpTic are in that blender that we felt could be brewing in the early goings of this game. Absolutely getting blended up right now. Strawberry banana smoothie. Our Sentinels making out of OpTic Gaming, 22-12.
They're just predicting everything that OpTic's going to go for. They know where that OpTic are spawning. They know what plays OpTic like to go for, and we called out Precision, who's hitting the no-scope. It just seems like no matter where OpTic go, there are 2 members of Sentinels attacking them, and look at the confidence out of Precision. Went for the rechow, no-scope. They know there's still 4 bullets left to snipe there, but they're going to wait and probably go for that later. Boo Boo still has this sniper from the beginning. He's had this single bullet in the clip for the last 5 minutes straight, it feels like.
I mean, Sentinels, they're owning OpTic right now, and they're owning their sniper rifle in particular. The numbers are starting to dwindle here, as OpTic need to start to find their form. 27-17 now, and Sentinels do look to take that multi-possession, multi-team wipe lead into the 30s, as Trippy looking to prevent any push through the cuts, has help and support on the big door and B side. 1v1 now with Falcated. And after both get down to low shields, Falcated calls for help on the dummy ramp, and Precision delivers it. Trippy goes down to 1 HP and eventually goes down. What a grenade there. Geometrical takes down Trippy, and Sentinels maintain that 10-kill lead.
I think that might have been a teammate. I don't know where that could have come from. Where were all of Sentinels in that moment? But either way, Trippy going down is a big deal on that side of the map. Sentinels can now hold strong. Looks like it's getting very mixy. Bottom center here, Repulse being put to good use. Still a 10-kill lead for Sentinels, and every trade just gets them closer to the end. Boo Boo Doo wisely backs out of this fight. No reason for him to reach out if he knows he has a teammate nearby. Just trust that his teammate will finish the kill. And what a perfect grenade now with camo coming up. Boo Boo's in best position to contest it, but needs more help because 3 members of OpTic are here.
35-23. It's a 12-kill game heading into the mid-30s, and at this point, Eli, all Sentinels have to do is trade out, and you might even see them start to strategically play for that. His Precision goes for it, but Trippy takes him down, and that's big. 4 go down for Sentinels, so that makes that 3-team wipe feel like more of a 2-team wipe edge, but my God, do OpTic need to stay alive. They need to almost play an elimination style of Halo, where if they lose their life, it's over. It's already at that point. 38-29, Dead Zone with a double kill, and he needs more.
Yeah, he gets this
it, triple kill.
This looks really good, but what you don't see on the screen right now is the fact that Sentinels were in the worst possible position, back green getting collapsed on, and somehow got 2 kills out of it. So I think if OpTic were going to come back and win this, they kind of had to come back, or they had to really come out on top in that situation. As I say that, though, they continue to slay out without dying, which is massive. They brought it down to just within 6, and it's a 4 dead for Sentinels.
40-35 with the sniper up, and Dead Zone's gonna take it. Why not? He's got the hot hand. No, instead drops it to one of his teammates. I'm not sure exactly who he dropped that to. It's Formal. Makes sense. One of the best snipers across Call of Duty, Halo, any first-person shooter title. He's got the snipe back in his hands. Now down to 1 HP. Just wants to stay alive. Cannot lose this resource. Down by 4. Now 5. You need Formal with the snipe, but he goes down with it instead.
Killing spree.
Wow, killing spree for Dead Zone, stepping up when his team needs it. Lethal does finally take him down. They do maintain a 5-kill lead into the 40s, but OpTic have roared back in this. Once down by, what, 12 kills earlier? And look at this rotation going all the way back around the tower. I don't know if Sentinels expects this. Sentinels are left just gathering intel. They've got to look around the map, figure out where OpTic has rotated, but this is a very smart rotation from OpTic. Just get straight to top tower with the sniper, but Formal's gonna, or Lucid is actually the one with the sniper. He's gonna have to start hitting some shots here.
OpTic's rallying cry is to bring it within 4 kills. Once it gets to the end of 40, that way they can come back in one fell swoop. They need a clean team wipe, all 4 down, nobody down for them to come back in it. But just as I say that, the lead balloons to 7. Allocated now with the sniper in his hand. 47-40. Repulsor doesn't repulse that grenade back, it looks like, and instead we're almost going to have the snipe in his hands. Down by 6. OpTic can't go down. If they do, Sentinel should have it.
Lethal just caught in a terrible position. He's going to get taken down. Got camo, sniper, 2 bullets to work with. Formal patiently lines up the first shot. Not as patient with the next, but still able to clean up Boo Boo. They can only afford 2 deaths, though, so they've got to play close together. if you're on the side of Sentinels, you got to look for some trades potentially.
This is that 48-49 win condition that OpTic Gaming got themselves back into, needing one team wipe to tie up the match. And at that point, it's anybody's game. But did Formal just walk by an opponent? I don't think so. I don't think they recognized him. Formal finds the back of A, and it's just his teammates there. Rat Tunnel has 2 in it, and 2 go down for OpTic. Unbelievable. It ends up being a 6-kill match, 6-kill win for Sentinels. Just as it looked like OpTic were storming back, they fall short. And I just feel like Eli, in the middle of that match, when it was 12 kills, 35 to 20, 22, 23 or so, they just didn't give themselves enough time or space to come back in that one. They needed way too many slays. And despite the comeback, it just wasn't enough. Sentinels take it and tie the series.
For this game type, though, I want to highlight kind of the way the meta has developed on this, and that's, you know, if a team can have control of both that A side and gold pipes, they're going to elect for that classic A-B stronghold setup, watch each other's crosses. But if you only have one or the other, teams are often just going to rotate this ball over to C and just set up around the silo, get some time out there. But I expect this one to be quite scrappy. There's going to be a lot of slaying on both sides before one team feels comfortable to grab the ball. As I say that, though, an early grab from OpTic means that they should take a strong lead here going into the early game.
Opening break win for OpTic here, and still on respawn are Sentinels finally back in the mix, and Boo Boo Doo Boo heads right back to it. And OpTic, we talk about the checkpoints or check marks on Oddball. You get to 30 seconds first over the opponent. That's a massive advantage. You get there with 30 uncontested seconds and 1 fell swoop, 1 hold, and that is a great start for OpTic Gaming. They're in fact going to reach that checkpoint. 30 uncontested seconds before Sentinels even get a chance to push through. Lucid with the shock ends up trading out. That'll go down, but not before 2 more go down for Sentinels.
This is exactly what I talked about. If you've only got control of A, it might be a good idea to rotate it to C. OpTic didn't feel comfortable enough to do that. Precision's going to now push in through the top, and this could be a Sentinels hold, if not for Formal just being such a difficult kill down here, just buying a little bit of extra time. The OpTic members that come off spawn, Trippy's going to get a kill, but this fight is going to continue. I don't think Sentinels are going to be comfortable to hold on to this ball for very long. This fight is not yet over.
And this all started, if they can finish off on this sequence with Precision reaching behind his back to prevent the reset down into bottom mid on that Oddball. And that heads up play from Precision actually allows OpTic to get right back to the hold on top A. So it would have otherwise had to scurry down to Camo, maybe rotate it to C, but that heads up play for Precision ends up turning into more points for OpTic.
Right, and this Camo is coming up right now. It looks like both teams stopping to hold the ball for now, just to grab it. 4 go down for Sentinels. Lethal, the first spawner, is going to spawn up at C side. I think the rest of Sentinels will spawn on this long haul side. That's exactly what OpTic want, though. They want Sentinels to spawn on that side so they can comfortably hold the ball in A. Now that they have top gold, this setup is much stronger than it was previously, and they look to potentially shut out Sentinels. They continue to cycle the spawners. They have been staggered this entire time, and the Oddball has just been held the entire time as well.
Well, it's interesting to note, too, that OpTic are doing this. They're not just holding down the fort today. They got Lucid over at gold. They previously had Trippy in the White Tower, so I mean, OpTic are fully putting down the clamps on Sentinels. We hardly ever saw Sentinels even break through to where they could contest the Oddball. And when you got Formal centering with that shock rifle, make it a double. Look in the wrong direction for the triple, but now sets his sights towards the long haul. Had Falcated potentially creeping down on the stairs. And OpTic are going to inch their way, I should say, sprint their way to a 100-0 start here. Talk about regaining the momentum. Unbelievable here from OpTic.
This has been a masterclass in how to adapt and adjust your strategy on the fly. Finally, it's not going to be a shutout. Sentinels are on the board, but they've got to play perfect if they're going to win this round. They do take 2 down. They need to extend out to the gold side if they're going to get a setup here, though. Right now, when they spawn at C, this is what I talk about. Just rotate it towards your spawners at C. Try to hold it on the silo. The problem is, if they end up having to play this ball, OpTic can just grab it off the spawn point.
Consolation prize if Sentinels do end up losing this round 1. At least they got a chance to see and look and feel what it's like to have control of the Oddball in this one, as they do in fact get that rotation over to C. Boo Boo Doo Boo down to 1 HP, just looking to stay alive, and I don't think he's going to have the opportunity to toss it off into the drink. You really have to stretch and press for more time, because OpTic have way too much of it, needing only 3 more seconds. They can play their pace. They can play patient here. As Formal has another camo, this could put the finishing touches on round 1.
Oh, huge kill there. I think that he was shooting precision. Lethal got the kill though, and Lethal's in the spot to guard the oddball. This is exactly what Sentinels needed to do. And look at this, OpTic are spawning on the C side. This looks like Sentinels could potentially chuck this ball into A and get another hold, but for now they're going to continue to slay out.
And this is where things, you almost could argue, get a little dangerous for OpTic in the sense that they only need 2 seconds. This is where we see even the best players in the world sometimes reach a little too early for it, where they don't have the slays, they don't have the numbers advantage. They go instead for those 2 seconds when they need 2 more slays instead. 2 down for OpTic right now, and it's Lethal holding down the cross and stopping what could be a push through from Trippy, looking to take the elevator. As he lands what looks like the sticky.
Wow.
No, he does not. Ooh, a little bit of a confusing melee battle there for Lethal. Misses a couple, but finally finishes off Trippy. 2 go down for OpTic and Eli. Sentinels have cut this lead in half.
This is insane. They've been playing so well since the trade, but that stick could be a big shutdown. No, Falcon is going to get that kill. Sentinels continue to hold the ball, but Trippy is relentless, just coming off spawn and applying pressure every single time. This looks like it should be the end of the round. Yes, it will be. So finally, after Sentinels roar back and show signs of life, that's the kind of momentum you like carrying with you into the second round.
I totally agree. Again, it goes back to confidence time there for Sentinels. They got a chance to see and feel what it looks like to have a lead, as they not only had, or excuse me, a hold, not only had a hold, but they had firm control of it and almost brought it back. Round number 2 now. OpTic in the lead, 1-0, 1-1 in the series, as Trippy starts off with that camo, has support on the batteries. Curious to see if he goes for the shock, maybe tries to toss up the oddball, grabs the shock instead, lining up his sides towards the tower and the seaside. Precision, gets his face peeled with the perfect shot there from Trippy. 3 go down, and this is looking a lot like more what we saw in round number 1. There's a little bit of a deja vu.
Trippy so patient with that shot, almost turns 2, but Lethal with the Gandhi hop, pulling out some tech from the Halo 2 days, making that headshot a little bit harder to hit. Lethal though, or Lucid, has the ball at glass, so now that his teammates are spawning at C, likely to rotate the ball towards them. But I think recognizing that all members of Sentinels are currently alive, they're going to try to fight as well.
If OpTic are able to get 2 30-second head starts in each of these rounds. No, this time it's Sentinels, and this is big. Previously, we saw OpTic run away with it 60+ uncontested seconds before Sentinels got a hold of it. Now they're much closer and much more in the fight. Boobadooboo redirects his shots towards the camo box, takes down 1. Looking for 2 with the use of the grapple, swings in like Spider-Man. Is not able to take down 1, but he does take down Trippy instead. Unbelievable here from Boobadooboo and the rest of Sentinels to regain the lead. This is part of that confidence that they built in round 1. Sure, they lost it, but they gained so much from that experience. Now in control, only by 1 second though.
Once again, have the ball at C. They're going to have to play it though soon here. The pressure coming in. No, wisely actually do not play it. Maybe understand they have a good chance to win this fight. This is kind of a risk-reward type situation. Don't want to play it too early and risk OpTic getting a hold of it, but they got 3 dead. They can just hold it once again. With camo coming up, they're going to have to leave the ball player, at least for now. Runs into Formal and another member of OpTic, so OpTic should be able to get this camo, but will they be able to force the reset as well?
3 go down for Sentinels, and now is the time to reset that. I loved that play there previously. 3 going down for OpTic. They could have spawned on gold and had the best chance at pulling the ball off the reset. Instead, Sentinels play it perfectly. Despite that, though, OpTic have a little bit of a rotation going. They don't have the numbers, but they do have the rotation. Precision meets up on the long haul, takes down 2, looking for Trippy, who I think is weak. Yes, Trippy does in fact go down, and Precision has the shock. Where do Sentinels want to take this oddball? Back to gold or over to C? It looks like they're going to take it to C.
Wisely so. They know that gold really isn't that strong of a position if you don't also have control of A. And look at the push so fast from OpTic to immediately push from A into gold, shut down the shock rifle player. That's going to give them the opening to push through long haul, which is just an easier place to push in from that than the white hall side. And now if they can force another reset, they might be able to get the ball. But Sentinels have done such a good job of just maintaining the ball on the map as long as they can.
Wow.
And they might actually be able to hold it for even longer back here.
2 for 2 are Sentinels on those do or die situations where you make the wrong call there and that could flip the map will at least flip the oddball, but for now it remains in possession of Sentinels, and they are really finding their form at the back of C2. Incredible holds where OpTic push on through, but they go 3 down. And just like we saw in the previous time, OpTic off spawn are able to take down members of Sentinels, and then they play the oddball, not before building an 81-26 lead here. Sentinels are coming back.
Huge kill from Trippy here. If he trades out right there, no chance that OpTic can get any ball time, but because he gets that kill without trading, all of a sudden they do have a good looking hold. Dead zone controlling space on that glass side, but it looks like Valkyrie gets through. No, he was spotted, and this shutdown is massive. This should be an even longer hold for OpTic.
Trippy is stepping up as the guy right now. A little hero ball being played as he maintains possession in 2 sequences for OpTic Gaming. To go down again. Trippy still with that oddball. Curious as to what he'd like to do with it. So it looks like he has it at the back of gold, and despite OpTic not having the numbers advantage, they're continuing to score oddball time. Unbelievable rotation here from Trippy as he's just playing a game of keep away.
Lethal, I don't know how he survived as long as he did on the grapple, perhaps the most exposed part of the entire map. Uwadu is going to clean up the damage that Lethal dealt as well. Oh, Trippy's so tricky with his movement. He gets taken down, and Boo says, all right, I don't need to kill that last guy. I'm just going to run this ball away. I think Falcated killed the player that was chasing him. Precision with the trade. That's massive. Lucid, last player alive for OpTic, means that Sentinels might be able to close out this round.
Lucid going to be forced to overextend here, and I don't think he has the chance. Boo Boo does take down Lucid with the oddball smack to the face. What a way to secure round number 2, and we said this series tied 1-1 going to a game 3. This oddball probably will as well, and it does. Deadlocked at 1.
So impressive, the bounce back from Sentinels. I mean, the beginning of first round, let's be honest, OpTic just had all of the items. Sentinels were kind of staggering themselves a bit, so that's going to lead to a huge early lead. What was it, 97-0 before Sentinels got a touch on the oddball. So ever since then, though, Sentinels have cleaned up their timing. They're hitting their space a little bit better, making sure they team shoot. They're also getting the ball out with as many opportunities as is possible, whereas they weren't able to do so in that first round.
Oh, this is big to maintain possession of the camo. Lethal does as he takes down Trippy and goes down shortly after. Great comms there, I imagine, from Trippy to call out Lethal on that box as he gets taken down shortly after. Doesn't get to go on a run with the Predator camo. 3 go down for Sentinels. Last player alive is Falcated up against the Plasma Pistol and Lucid as Lucid wins it. He's got a shock rifle there as well. He's got the oddball to grab as well. And the grenade on the Sneaky is going to take him down. Trippy now working through all of the different utilities and items on that Sneaky, and impressively does it quickly enough to rotate instantly into gold. Trippy has been very quick with not only his decision making, but his rotations as well, and that's been a big reason why OpTic are in it. He's also slaying out 26, 9, and 20, make it 27 after he earns the shock rifle reversal headshot. Looking to clean up here on Lethal. But Lethal goes down, and Trippy heads back to the oddball. The timing, positioning, and accuracy from Trippy has been on point.
You're exactly right. This game type is all about taking advantage of those small windows of opportunity to get the ball to safety, and I think Trippy has done such a good job of that. As soon as he can sense the map is safe enough to grab it, he's done so, and that's why OpTic have taken the lead in this third round. But look at the peak shots coming in from Lethal, maybe taking a page out of his young gun teammate Precision's book, but Trippy's just going to barrel stuff him with the shock rifle, and Precision's going to need to shut that down. There he goes.
Trippy's been the MVP for OpTic, but they might need a little bit more. We are close here in round 3. Only 4 seconds, and that'll dwindle down, separate these two teams. We're virtually tied now, as Sentinels do, in fact, take the lead, take possession of the oddball. Another deja vu occurrence with that camo on that box. This time it's OpTic Formal instead of Lethal, as OpTic Formal looks to stay alive. Has the reshield, has the reposition, instantly locks back onto the player on Needles. My God. And that was Precision too. That's a pretty good gunny he's going up against. Does enough damage on the oddball carrier to help take him down shortly after, and Formal starting to heat up.
That's what you like to see from your multi-FPS champion. This has been an all-out brawl in the third round. It was heavily in OpTic's favor round 1, heavily in Sentinels round 2. And what better way to finish than a barn burner round 3? Sentinels do have a 16-point lead, but we know how fast that can change. If OpTic can win this next fight, they could tie up the rounds. So many kills are going back and forth here. It's 4 dead for OpTic though, and look at this. Precision gonna chuck the ball to his teammate, and now that they see their teammates have spawned in A, they can accurately predict where OpTic are coming from next. Perfectly times the new grab of the shock, and he needs to hit a few headshots here.
I like how Precision didn't even wait to, do I want to jump across to grab shock? No, I'm going to grab it with the grapple so I can instantly start to put some shots down onto OpTic Gaming. Bodyguard medal means he's protected a teammate 5 different times with a perfect shot there. 67-30 Sentinels, and it all goes back to that round 1, Eli, where they're getting dominated. OpTic looked like they were about to win 100-0, but the regain, the bounce back from Sentinels has trickled down into the rest of this game. But just as I say that, 3 go down, make it 4 for Sentinels. OpTic could get control of it safely to the back of C, but other Sentinels are spawning there. Dead Zone, despite pushing up under the white hole, has 2 players now to worry about. The Shroud screen, another thing to worry about. Blind fire with the grenade takes down 1, but those spawns on the C side for Sentinels make it a little bit harder for OpTic to get control. They finally do. Dead Zone takes it back to C, and they get back in this.
Look like favorable spawns for Sentinels, but OpTic played it perfect to shut those players down. It ends up being a non-factor. Trippy with the camo here is going to try to rotate around the push from Sentinels. It just seems like the Sentinels are somehow scurrying to their death, but no, Lethal stays alive with help from his teammate. That's massive. The communication must be on point. OpTic forced to play the ball, and what could have been an ugly situation for Sentinels has suddenly turned back into a complete reset.
Sentinels with a reset of their own, drop it into the stacks. Oddball gets rotated shortly towards the white hall. Trippy now stands close to it, but he's got Boo Boo and Lethal to worry about in the long haul. That's Formal's battle to fight now. Oh, and he almost trickles down onto Boo Boo Doo for a potential out DMR, but no. Boo Boo Doo going to stay alive, take down Formal. Now looks back to Lucid on the sneaky. Lucid takes him down. It's a mix and medley of opponents in the back C side of the map. Then Oddball gets all the way back out towards the gold side. Formal or OpTic, somebody with a big brain rotation gets it back to gold, and OpTic get back in the lead.
This is exactly what OpTic need right now, but how do Sentinels play this? Looks like they're just flooding into gold quickly, but the nades are coming in. Dead Zone's going to trade out. Formal recognizes he has no more teammates left to protect him in gold, so he's going to rotate it towards the C side. Precision gets a kill in the kill feed, and Formal is starting to wonder what does he do here. He knows he's probably screwed, but somehow turns a kill. That's actually a huge kill in a situation that I don't think many people would find a kill.
Big trade, but a big answer back here from Sentinels. We just saw the lead go back into OpTic's favor. It could go back into Sentinels, but a huge grenade there from Lucid. Gets a good spawn on Mauler or Elevator and gets quickly over to C. Wins the 1v1 against Lethal with the 5 perfect shots. That Oddball has been reset. It's back towards the initial starting point. Falcated looking to grapple himself away, but he gets whiplashed instead. Camo goes into the suited Dead Zone. Can they keep him alive? No, he goes down. 5-second game with 90 seconds left in regulation.
At some point, these teams got to start thinking about playing for time. I don't know if it will. If one team can just get a clean squad wipe, it could be the end of this game. And look at that. It looks like it might be OpTic. Yes, they get the clean squad wipe. Lethal first spawner, but he's not going to be able to get in any type of position to stop this. And it has to be a perfect push right here, right now. I don't know if they have time, though.
Trippy has been so good at playing keep away here, and as long as he gets the communication that Sentinel spawn on the C side of the map, you assume Trippy will take it over towards the A side, which he is. Bold frag door, but you gotta watch out. OpTic Formula last alive. Oh my god! 97-74. 4 go down for OpTic Gaming, and Sentinels have life.
That was such a big brain shroud screen from Boo Boo Doo Boo. He spawned blue pipes and he shrouded off the angle so he could not be seen from top gold. Quickly jumps up with the teammate and they just overpower their way into the pipes. And this looks like OpTic have to do the same thing right back to them. It's 2 dead for Sentinels right now. They've got to continue the push. This looks bad for Sentinels.
97 all, 3 go down for Sentinels, and it looks like OpTic are gonna milk out the win.
Wow.
Unbelievable stretch finish where multiple lead changes, multiple possessions changed hands, but OpTic ice up in the end, take a 2-1 lead in this series, and Eli, 1-1 tied. Historically in Halo, the winner of that game 3 has a 75 to 80% chance to win the series, which is so crucial, especially when you consider the fact that Sentinels have looked like the best team on Interference Online. So you could argue that was a must-win there for OpTic. They do. What a nail-biter of a match. My God, that was electric and exciting. As OpTic take the series lead, 2-1. Here we go. Strongholds game number 4. A closeout opportunity for OpTic. but it's going to be difficult going up against the Sentinels that has done so well in scrims online on this particular map in game mode. But just I say that Trippy with the early double kill will secure position of a flipped A.
Love his opening strat. He just flew all the way through the open bottom nest to E1 and just gets all the way behind the Sentinels push. Don't really see that play very often, but clearly thought out. Maybe they've done some homework on Sentinels opening strat and knew something like that would work. But while they went around and flipped A, Sentinels went and flipped C and now also have control of B. So it's Sentinels with the early scoring position, but Lucid did get that first overshield.
B in control of Sentinels, but it's A and C in control of OpTic. And just like we saw with that Oddball endgame there, it's back and forth. C now trickling in favor of Sentinels, but 4 go down for OpTic Gaming. That's going to give Sentinels the first trip cap of the match. Oh no, A gets to protect it. So an impressive job off the regain bunker spawns by OpTic. Keeps B and C in control of Sentinels instead.
Yeah, I think Sentinel's game plan is definitely to force the other team to spawn bunker, but also let them split spawn out to carbine occasionally. You can force the split spawns. It makes it very difficult for the other team to do anything about it. OpTic do a good job to not only cap A off their spawn, but also make their way over to B. But this is going to be a very mixy game. You're going to see all of these strongholds get flipped constantly. These teams are mostly going to go for trip cap opportunities, which means they're going to have to apply pressure to the entire map.
How difficult it is. Just as it looked like A was going to go in favor of Sentinels, Formal gets 1 slay. Not enough to prevent Sentinels from getting A, but it wasn't easy. And Formal's right back in A. Looking to stay alive. A little bait and switch with Trippy, but Boo Boo Dooble has the thrust to get back to safety. Boo Boo Dooble has the chase grenade onto Trippy to take him down as Formal takes A, but an impressive 1v2 sequence there nonetheless from Boo Boo Dooble.
Yeah, I have no idea how he turned that situation. Looked like he was dead to rights. But it is OpTic getting the second overshield as well. Overshield's so important in this game type. Sometimes you can just use it to brute force your way into a stronghold capture, as OpTic look to do that here on the C side. But Sentinels are going to have to start getting some more overshields to prevent what could be a runaway victory for OpTic, as 3 go dead once again. Precision, huge kill here while the rest of his team were coming off spawn. To land a slay means that his teammates all spawn in an advantage state.
Overshield control has been in OpTic's favor throughout this series, dating back to that Game 1 Aqua CTF. It was the overshield control that gave them a 3-2 win. Could the overshield control here in a Game 4 give them a narrow victory, which would end the series 3-1? Sentinels now with the control of B and C, coming back in this one. Only down by 20 seconds as Lethal put some cross shots into the tower. 2 players pushing through on OpTic. They're going to take down Falcated easily, and seeing a lot of 1v2 spot from Sentinels here. But they're still in it, if not with a trip cap. So, I don't know, maybe 1v2 is the new 2v1.
I mean, these guys just icing up. They're playing their cover very well. It looks like a 2v1, but they usually have a teammate shooting from afar, just able to take up so much space. They've got a lot of angles to work with. Falcated's going to get a kill on Trippy. And Lucid maybe trying to chase a player, maybe over chasing in a spot like that, and looks to be punished for it. Right now, Sentinels know the spawners are coming on that C side. Look to collapse on the spawn point.
At a lead switch, Sentinels retain it. Up by 20 seconds now and rolling. And Strongholds, it's always close, but you don't want to let Sentinels run away with a 30-plus second point spree, as they might be the first team to reach the 100-point threshold. 3 go down for OpTic Gaming, and I would imagine they absolutely will. Lucid's the last player alive, and I don't imagine he's going to be able to grab A as the last player alive. He goes down shortly after, and what a time to not stay alive as the overshield is up. And in the suit of Sentinels, like we said, this was OpTic's advantage in Game 1. Now it looks like Sentinels contesting the overshield much more here in Game 4, and they're in the lead, partly because of it.
It's exactly what I talked about here. They're so good at momentarily opening the bunker spawn, going back to collapse on it. Now they open the barrels and carbine spawns, and now they're collapsing back onto this side of the map. OpTic don't really have a lot of good options here. Falcade to get the killing spree double kill. Lethal controlling space on the outside. Precision covering the other side, and there's nowhere for OpTic to go. They're going to set foot in A momentarily, but you have to imagine the members of Sentinels are on their way. Yes, they are. They're going to shut that down in a hurry.
That's a couple of back-to-back futile attempts at A, where OpTic don't have the numbers advantage, and when you step into that hill, it's almost like lighting the beacon for Batman and a couple of robbers in the alleyways. They're going to get taken down more often than not, as that's exactly what happens to OpTic here. Both A and C trickling and flipping, but favor retains for Sentinels. BC control is their route to a triple up on this lead, it looks like. If not for OpTic regaining C. Lethal looking to stay alive here, utilizing every single one of the nooks and crannies on interference, and another 2v1 outcome advantage for OpTic takes down Sentinels. Can they take back one of these cap points to regain some form of control? 3 go down for Sentinels, and it looks like OpTic will do just that.
Finally, OpTic getting their footing. So many cycles in a row, getting taken down. Huge win from Precision. Not easy to win the 1v1 against the Thrust player. This new overshield coming up here shortly going to be so important right now. Seems like Sentinels are just comfortable in every configuration. It doesn't matter if they have AB, if they have BC, if they have AC. Every single configuration of Strongholds, they're able to maintain a comfortable advantage. They've also got control of top center, which means they do get this overshield. And now, with all members of OpTic spawning at A, they just all dogpile in the Stronghold to just force the capture. But I don't know if that's the play, if they're going to go down shortly thereafter.
That was absolutely massive. Precision was the last Spartan standing for Sentinels in a 1v1 with Dead Zone, and he wins it. Because of that, that fork in the road leads to Sentinels trip capping A, B, and C. A goes back to OpTic, but they've been stuck in the back of bunker, almost like hiding from grenade damage this whole time. They have not been on the offensive. Now finding a way to somehow trickle out to C through the tower location, are able to take it, but Sentinels take A right back, and I go back to that 1v1 for the win potentially from Precision on Dead Zone. What an incredible sequence there. Dead Zone with a double though brings OpTic back in it, but they don't have much time left to work with. Sentinels are almost in the 200s, and OpTic only have a minute.
They do try to at least pressure the trip cap here, but Trippy's gonna have to back up. Now a couple more kills go right back in Sentinel's favor. It seems like whenever OpTic have a small semblance of control, Sentinels have just fought their way back and gotten a few kills immediately. We'll have to see how long OpTic could potentially hold one of these scoring positions. And once OpTic started to get more kills, okay, finally they do stop the C conversion, and that's massive. This could be what OpTic needed to start coming back in this game.
Lucid with the help of Dead Zone able to take down Lethal. Now it's going to be Sentinels with those bunker spawns. This is what Sentinels were doing to OpTic previously to maintain a firm control on it, but it's now Boo Boo Doo inside of B as he takes down two cap points in possession of Sentinels, and they roar into the 200s, doubling up on OpTic Gaming. Stretch run finish here could send us to a game 5.
It was a perfect time for Boo Boo to cap B with the overshield coming up. It did just come up now though, and OpTic actually got the slays. Dead Zone finally puts it in the suit, and this could be massive. This could be a good chance for OpTic to get back into this. Trippy also just got 2 kills of his own, and finally Dead Zone's in the fight with that OS, helps secure A, and if OpTic can start rolling, they could actually bring this one back, but could it be too little too late?
Predictable carbine spawns here for Sentinels, but Dead Zone's not able to take advantage of it. Instead, Sentinels and Boo Boo Doo Boo push through, regain control of B, and they can take down Lucid here. Regain map control as well. Could be the finishing touch on it. Lucid does take down Lethal. Lethal takes down Trippy, so an ultimate trade out in the feed as Sentinels work their way to A. Boo Boo Doo Boo like a turret here, just occupying the B space on the map. Formal cross map shots from C. Boo Boo Doo Boo takes him down to 1 HP. Dead Zone goes down to 1 HP. Boo Boo Doo Boo with 2 members of OpTic at 1 shot. And now he just looks to play keep away. Just stay alive. That grenade trickles in. Doesn't take down his shields. Doesn't connect. And because of that, he's able to take down Dead Zone with the hands. Look at his health. He's got 1 centimeter, a worm's worth of HP. And it was all because of the positioning on the back of B. And he rolls it into 2 onto Formal. Boo Boo Doo Boo popping off in the end game.
So many clutch kills there. That's such a hard spot on this map to stay alive. Usually those grenades come in and just dismantle you in a hurry, but keeps Sentinels alive. This could have been a trip cap rolling for OpTic, but all those plays slow it down. OpTic are coming back a little bit here though. They've been having a lot better map presence in the latter half of this game. Currently have scoring position as well. Trippy just trying to find a way into this fight, but can't get into it. Now finally finds Precision, but all of his teammates die in the process. This looks very bad for OpTic as he finally gets hunted down. Where does Dead Zone spawn? That's going to make a big difference here.
235 and rolling to 125. This could be it for Sentinels. Formal pushes into A off of that bunker spawn again, and it has been spawn manipulation 101 here for Sentinels. Looks like one of the reasons they're so talented online and scrims on this game type is because of that. 244 to 125 now. A trickling in favor of OpTic Gaming, but it's Falcated with the OS. Taking shots onto Trippy. As he looks for the back smack, doesn't need it. Has the teammate support, and that will do it. Eli, we thought this one would go to a game 5. It is.
What you're going to see here is a lot of aggression whenever a team gets the advantage, and this is new. I haven't seen anyone beeline the commando and immediately put it to work, but Lethal getting some great damage down early here.
Lethal goes down, but he gets a lot of damage down onto OpTic, and 2 go down for OpTic. Boo Boo Doo. Lethal's damage right here, you could argue he goes down, but he allows Boo Boo Doo to sneak away with the camo, and he's now putting it to work, taking down Formal, and now he has the shock. I actually believe his teammate took the shock. Interesting, but not so much in the sense when you consider how Boo Boo Doo likes to play. He likes to play aggressive. He likes when his teammates are pulling distraction and bait, and that's exactly what happens here. Boo Boo Doo gets the free headshot onto Lucid, gets the assist with the use of the shock rifle on his previous teammate, now turns it into 3. Optimal value out of this camo off the start, has Sentinels in the lead.
So patient to go for the 3-shot beatdown. A lot of people panic in that situation and maybe melee too early. Boo Boo Doo too stoic for that. He's going to calmly get the 3-shot beatdown on Trippy, and that does give them a 2-kill lead. It looks like it could have been more, though. I mean, you could argue with camo shock should have a bit more than just a 2-kill lead going into this stage of the game, but let's see how they play from here.
Sentinels do a good job. They lose some numbers, but I don't believe they've lost the shock, an important power weapon to hold on Solitude. Nice bait and switch there. Falcated working through with his duo, with his buddy on the planner side of the map, and that was executed to perfection. But just like you talked about, Eli, you feel like Sentinels, based on the eye test, should be in the lead, maybe even by more, but this one's tied 10-all.
Not only that, but Lucid has the shock. He's only got 1 burst to work with. Don't let that extra bullet fool you. It's not going to do much of anything. But they know Lucid's location. They got some great grenades here in the lift side. Lucid doing his best to dodge the next set of nades, but this camo is coming up right now, and he probably wants to get a kill to make his team have an easier time grabbing it.
Camo spawning now, and you want to make sure Boo Boo Doo can't get it. He can't. He's on the respawn screen. One of the best camo players in the world gets neutralized. Lucid taking down 1 more with the assist, takes down 2, and now OpTic have their first lead of the match, 14-11.
Not only that, but they have 4 Sentinels to spawn blue, and this is the famous spawn that got Strongholds taken out of the game. But how do Sentinels play it? Looks like they are going to try to hold off space on both sides. Precision going to be caught by the camo player, though. Dead Zone looks like he's forced his way to the A ledge, and it's a clean squad wipe for OpTic. Not a single kill in favor of Sentinels, and this is the type of momentum that you do not want the other team to have on Solitude. They have forced another condensed set of spawns out of Sentinels. Sentinels need to play out of this if they're going to somehow stay in this game.
OpTic are doing exactly what Sentinels did to them in game 2. The only difference, this is a do or die decisive game 5 where your pool play finish will be on the line. Both teams vying for a first place finish in pools, looking to advance as far along as they can in the championship bracket. Shock back in the hands of Precision, and that's huge. Lucid wanted it, but Precision takes him down, and sitting at 1-6, this is Precision's chance to get back on the board, and if he does, Sentinels could get right back in this.
Exactly right. He finds 2 spawners, gets 2 body shots. I think he forgot about this player Hotel, though. There should still be a player behind him. No, maybe that... Okay, Formal was taken down by his teammate, so now he can just move forward without concern. Has teammates both left and right. That is exactly what you want to see if you're the sniper player. You want to see your teammates taking some of the pressure off of you. Hits 2 shots, but he's been unable to land a headshot so far, and that's a big deal. OpTic are able to survive.
Precision just trying to maintain his life, but falls into Lethal's chase grenade. 19-23 now, so Sentinels have brought it back, but again, I don't think they can win this unless Precision is the Precision we know and love. Lethal with the killing spree goes down shortly after. 20-26 now, as OpTic still have a 6-kill lead. First camo went into the suit of Boo Boo Doo, but it's been all OpTic ever since. They've possessed both of the next 2 camos, and at that 6-minute mark, like you were talking about, Eli, I gotta imagine Sentinels gotta have it. They want to have the win.
It's the only way I think they can come back into this right now. OpTic are rolling, trying to get more value out of this camo. Lucid also has the repulse just in case. Does put it to work here. Has another teammate there. pushing in from LR. Dead zone just perfectly placed to follow up on that kill. Now Sentinels are stuck spawning away from each other. This spawner is at snipe, but you know with Trippy there, the other spawners are spawning at Tram. So Sentinels really being put in the blender here.
Man, that is tough for Sentinels. Disadvantageous squad spawns where they're all four holding hands. Disadvantageous split spawns where they're split from each other and not able to really have the angles and support that they need to keep each other alive. And at this point, that's the name of the game. 22-32 now as OpTic continue to roll. Another 3 go down. Formal repulses up to the top of LR, works his way towards an opponent. That's Booba Dooba looking to scurry away, and that's going to be tough for him to stay alive. 2 go down for Sentinels once again. OpTic are rolling here in game 5, icing up.
Sentinels really at this point are banking on the camo shock at 6 minutes, but I don't know if OpTic are even going to let them have a chance at it. Who does get a clutch kill here, does secure this side of the map, but why is he going to retreat back to his teammates? Also grab the thrust pack on the way. But 10 seconds until that camo and shock come up. Who's going to win this next fight?
Formal looking to stay alive at 1 HP, throws a chase grenade out. And right now at 27-38, Eli just staying alive is a win condition. Even just trading out here is a massive win condition. Instead, he just stays alive. He just won't die. Formal started off a little rough there in that game 1. Wasn't able to get on the board for a couple minutes, actually, in the slay department at least. I believe he was 0-5-5, so he was contributing via assist, but now we're seeing the Formal we're used to seeing. 12-7-7 now as he leads OpTic Gaming, and he's got the shot.
The way Lucid moving around the map,
So this is a map on mode.
looks like he was finally shut down, as we had a little picture-in-picture from the other series. We'll get you guys updated on that, but this one looks like it is over. OpTic have been absolutely running away with it, controlling the whole map, controlling the sandbox. It's up to Formal to get a stylish finish as he gets the headshot killing spree on Lethal. And I think Sentinels know it at this point, but they're going to keep trying. Oh my God, Formal, can you miss a shot?
Wow. Formal 2.0 KD, and almost feels like we're seeing and witnessing Formal 2.0. The evolution of a player who's been around for decades just continues to get better and better as OpTic Gaming take game 5, 50-33.
You're my best kept secret.